Would I ever consider going back to eating meat? This question, man oh man, wow. I get this question so often and frequent. I love this question, and the reason why I love answering this question is because it's interesting for me to discuss and explain to you why I became vegetarian and why I've been vegetarian for the second time in my life, for a year and a half already. So enjoy this video. So in 2010, I became vegetarian for the very first time. I was very sick, almost passed away. Even though all these steak videos I made 2 years ago, this and this and that, I never really loved meat that much, to be honest. It never really fascinated me taste-wise. Pork, for example, never been a real big fan of pork. Pork has got a weird, unique taste. I think we can agree with that. Like, pork is just something that's only good on a burger or a culinary pork chop. You know, pork chops are difficult to make, but they were delicious. But anyways, I became vegetarian in 2010. The food was so goddamn bland. I kid you guys not, that shit was disgusting. It was eating dog shit, basically. It wasn't good then. Vegetarian food and plant-based food wasn't so big back then. Now you got this whole revolutionary thing of plant-based, this and that. By the way, I'm not a vegan, by the way. What I'm trying to say is I am vegetarian, but I also like to consume plant-based as much as possible because lactose and, you know, milk is a bit bad for the skin, at least. So and I also try to get away from milk and eggs that much because it's also quite a nasty industry. Trust me, don't let all these adverts fool you about this and that. There's a lot of dark history behind those milk things and eggs. But anyways, right, to answer your question, why did I become vegetarian is because my self-consciousness was coming up to above. You see, as I started to face the reality more of being curious, how does my plate get filled with meat? Where does it come from? I searched those videos up. I've basically forced myself to watch them and say, this is what I'm eating. I must face reality and just be honest with myself. This is the reality of these animals. You see, the thing is, most of these animals live a shit life. Especially because, you see, when it comes to meat, 95% of the meat produced nowadays is all fast meat for money, this and that. Most farmers don't give a fuck about the animals because it's all money at the end of the day. You see, I personally could never slaughter an animal. I could never hurt one. I could never shoot one. I just have too much compassion and I just love animals, right? And I don't just say with loving cats and dogs. No, I love pigs. I love cows. Not eating them anymore, obviously, because I'm vegetarian, but I used to eat them, yeah. I'll be very honest with you. I stopped eating meat because of my self-consciousness, and I wasn't enjoying it anymore because of the reality of how meat is produced at the end of the day. I know for some people it would be like, it's just meat. True. But for you it may be something else, but for me it felt really painful to watch these videos. And I was like, damn, this is very unappetizing. Seeing this and eating meat at the same time, for me, felt personally very uncomfortable. So I decided to reduce the amount of meat that I was consuming in my videos and outside of my videos. And the last time I could really remember I ate meat it was halal, by the way, but even halal food didn't convince me to do it. And you see, at the end of the day, what hurt me was the fact these animals had to get slaughtered to end up on a plate. And I didn't want it anymore. I was saying to myself, no, I don't care if it's halal or not. I just personally don't believe all these people saying, oh, animals get a good life. I don't believe it all, man. I'm sorry, halal or not, I just don't believe it. And I went vegetarian. I've been vegetarian for a year and a half. What can I say about being a vegetarian? Being quite honest, sometimes I do miss eating meat. Like, I do. I'll keep it very honest. In the beginning, it was still hesitating to grab a piece of meat. Now I look at meat and I just like, yeah, I don't want to. And I go to my vegetarian section and I'm glad, you know. It's a personal choice I choose. The only reason why I don't eat meat is because of the production of it, the slaughtering of it, ending a life of in my eyes, beautiful creature. Everyone their own ways. I feel like I just probably have too big of a heart for animals. I don't know. I know it's kind of crazy, but I just love animals, really. The only reason why I would ever go back to consuming meat, and with meat I mean chicken, pork, beef, lamb, fish, not really. I never have really been a big fan of fish. the shit is nasty. I'm just gonna be real. I don't like fish. Seafood, not my thing, bro. I'm sorry. Is when the animal doesn't have to get slaughtered. Now, the interesting thing is about that, as we're speaking about it, is they are actually making this in America. So basically what they do is a piece of chicken, like a real living chicken. They grab the cells of the chicken and it grows in a lab. It's lab grown chicken without the chicken getting murdered, basically. Now that, I don't mind eating, being honest, because I know for a fact that, okay, this animal didn't have to get to an end to be on my plate. If they try and sell it in the Netherlands, then I would consider going back to being a meat eater. I would definitely. It's just that reality of me having to see these animals is the reason why I don't eat meat. Now don't get it wrong, my brother's a meat eater, Michael and Queenie are both meat eaters, Ben is a meat eater. I know a lot of people that are meat eaters don't like vegetarians, and I don't blame you. I don't. They can be fucking irritating. They can be very pushy and try to force vegetarianism onto you because you're a bad person, you eat meat, this and that. Look, I am not into that shit. I respect people regardless if they eat meat or not, pescatarians or not. My mom and dad were actually vegetarian for a year. They recently became pescatarians. Like in some cultures, like fish is considered as meat. I personally consider fish as meat as well, like prawns, shrimp, fish. Like fish, it's for me personally, I see it as meat as well. But anyways, they are pescatarians, and I don't like fish. I do say to them, man, that shit stinks, because fish stinks, bro. I don't know what it is, but fish has got such a nasty smell when it's dead. It's disgusting. Don't get it wrong, I respect people's decision regardless. The fact that Michael, Queenie and Brendan are vegetarian or meat eaters is cool. That's the only thing. Do I look bad upon them? No, because at the end of the day, who am I to tell them that you can't eat meat? You're a bad person. Ugh, you murderer. You see, I don't do those kind of things because it's not who I am, and at the end of the day, respect other people's decision as well. Like my brother, for example, and this is very interesting about my brother. I don't think I've told this before. He's a meat eater, his wife as well. Every time I come to that place, they always buy me vegetarian food. And whenever I make a mukbang with my brother, he actually insists to eat vegetarian with me, which is kind of strange at the other hand. Like, okay, weird, but yeah, sure, if you want it. Don't you want a piece of steak? Nah, I'll eat something with you. He's not a vegetarian. The only reason why he doesn't want to become a vegetarian is because he doesn't like vegetarian food, and I don't blame him, honestly. Like, if you want that real authentic taste, fuck it, stick it with meat, right? And also, to be honest with you guys, vegetarian food is pretty heavy, bro. It ain't like cheap, like price wise. Yeah, it ain't the cheapest. I can tell you that. Like, sometimes I spend $3.50 on a vegetarian piece. That's heavy, bro. You don't even get that much. But for you wondering, no, I don't look bad upon people because they're meat eaters. I respect and treat people the same as I would others. And I know people in society really don't like vegans that much, and there's a reason. Even I must say, like, sometimes you can go too far. You see, it's totally fine and cool that you are a plant eater, that you are a vegetarian, as I would say. Vegans are plant eaters basically because they don't consume anything from animals. They don't, just like, see the difference with vegetarians, right? Let me keep like this. So I'm vegetarian. What does that mean? Basically that I do not eat meat from animals. So that means I do not eat cow. However, I still consume milk. Not that often, because I'm not the biggest fan of milk, like I said. Like the fluid version, at least not. But pancakes, yeah, give me that. Which, by the way, you can make very nice pancakes with soya. I've done it once. They're absolutely delicious plant-based pancakes. Very nice. I recommend you trying it out. It's really good. This is not a form of forcing. I'm just saying, like, it ain't that bad, bro. Just add some vanilla and you got a very nice plant-based pancakes with bananas on them. Very delicious. But anyways, right, I'm a vegetarian, so I still consume milk and cheese. Now this is the thing with cheese, right? You have to be careful because some cheese have got animal thing in it, which is not vegetarian. They basically take it from unborn dead little cow's stomach. So as a vegetarian cheese. And with candy as well, I do not consume candy with gelatin because it's meat. It's meat from the bones. I had a classmate who was a vegetarian, but ate candy with gelatin. I was like, what the fuck is the point of you being a goddamn vegetarian if you eat meat from candy with meat? She got pissed at me because I said, look, you're not vegetarian. You're consuming candy with gelatin. That ain't vegetarian. Oh, but I don't care about that. Then you're not a fucking vegetarian. She got mad and she blocked me. Okay, that's cool. I guess it sucks must hearing the truth, but anyways, right. And vegans, like, they eat plant-based, which means that they don't eat animals like vegetarians, but in this case they don't consume anything from milk, dairy, egg, cheese, nothing. They eat plant-based, which, I'll be honest, ain't that bad, but I could personally highly likely never be a vegan myself, at least for now, because there are some things you need. Like, trust me, meat has a lot of beneficials. Vegetarian food as well. What you can find in meat, you can find in vegetarian food as well. One thing I will be honest with you is a lot of vegetarian food has a lot of fat in it. Like the plant-based mince, fuck, it's got a lot of fat in it. Burgers, plant-based, a lot of fat in it. Try to replicate the real meat, obviously. But like burgers, like if you are someone who's like, okay, you know, it actually don't sound too bad as a meat eater myself, okay. What does a burger taste like? You see, that all depends on what kind of burger you're talking about. My recommendations is for burgers, plant-based burgers, because they are the juiciest. Vegetarian burgers that contain milk and egg aren't the best. You really want that juicy, meaty taste? I recommend plant-based burgers. Vegan burgers, basically. I always use them. Only choose them because they're juicy, they're tendy, they're very tasty, and there's nothing wrong with them. Just they're fucking expensive. They got them $4, bro. Like $4 or $6 for 2 patties. It's heavy, bro. Like that's the one thing I unfortunately gotta agree. Being a vegetarian ain't cheap, bro. But yeah, that's really my tips. And you see, for me at least, being a vegetarian, I have noticed a difference. Like obviously I do. Like health wise, I feel way better than before. I obviously some things that I am missing in my body, which meat does have, which is important for your body. Some things that meat have you can find in vegetarian food. Some things in vegetarian food you don't have that meat does have. So it's 50-50, I suppose. But like regardless if you are a meat eater or not, I won't look bad upon you. Like I respect you regardless. I don't give a damn. And it goes the same for my mukbangs. People ask me, are you vegan? No, I am not. However, it's actually quite a good question, because I have mentioned in the past that I was vegan, but I never actually was a vegan. I just didn't know what the difference was between a vegetarian and a vegan. So now you do know. And you've also got one more category, which is a pescatarian. As my mom and dad, pescatarians only eat fish. Crawfish, shrimp, crab, seafood. And they eat as vegetarians as well. The only thing they just add is just shrimp and this and that. And fish, which in my opinion is fish though. Is meat. You know, some cultures see it as fish, as meat. I see it as meat as well. But yeah, that's why I'm a vegetarian. And the only reason I would ever go back to eating meat if it was lab grown, which they are heavy doing in America right now, which is very cool. But for now, I'm happy, I suppose, with my role within society. Like I said, I respect your decision if you're a meat eater regardless. I don't really care that, honestly. Just respect my decision, and I respect your decision regardless. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and maybe I'll go meat eater one day, maybe not, who knows. Maybe I'll be vegetarian for the rest of my life, who knows, you know. But I'll never be pescatarian because I just don't like fish, man. It's goddamn disgusting, bro, for my opinion only. You may absolutely love fish, that is totally cool, that's your decision, right? I don't like it personally. I've never really been a big fan of fish. The only fish I really ever truly liked was salmon, Norwegian or Swedish salmon. Like good authentic, oh man, that shit is expensive, but it tastes very good. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching this massive long video. If you guys got any more questions for me, I would definitely gladly answer them down in the comments below. Sorry for not really responding to a lot of comments on this channel, a lot of comments on the main, second, and on my social medias. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out. I'll see you next time.